65% profit over the weekend. Morgan Stanley are getting into crypto, and BlackRock are going to send Bitcoin above 100K. Hello, welcome to BigWick Energy, a 100% automated copy trading bot fully managed by the Block Party trading team. It's exclusively available on Mizar, and if you want to get access, just head on over to Mizar.ai, check out the marketplace, and we're right there. If you want a truly set and forget experience with automated trading, then this is for you. There is no monthly subscription. We only get paid if we win. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps us grow and bring you more awesome content. Enough yapping, let's get into those trades. As always, guys, let's start off with Bitcoin and see how it's going to lead the market today. Now, we saw a massive breakout of this descending, expanding wedge, which we identified with usually around about an 80% chance of it breaking out bullish, which is great, and it did exactly that. We filled also this small CME gap in the meantime, and it looked really positive. And right now, we're kind of getting to that first big chunk of resistance right about here, which is sitting at 24,000, 24,100. But most significantly, we're actually holding above 24K, which is super exciting, especially as the US market has come online. And as we've seen previously, when the US market comes online, we quite often see a lot of volatility coming in, whether it is bullish or bearish. And historically, they've actually been quite bearish when they've come online, but quite recently, they've been pretty bullish. So I was kind of hoping for a big push above this resistance. However, we've kind of stopped and consolidated a little bit, and the order books are kind of reaffirming that somewhat with, some strong orders coming in above and below in around about this 24,200 region, and unsurprisingly at around about 24K as well. So this is kind of good. I think we're going to see some consolidation here, maybe a small retrace, and then a next push up to this midterm bull target, which I've got at the very top of this longer term channel. So in all, it's looking pretty good. We have seen an exhaustion and a TD9. Hitting on here around about the, this resistance with a bearish divergence on the 15-minute. Now, all of this is kind of pointing, like I said, to a retrace, which is unsurprising. I would, if I was in a short-term trade with Bitcoin, be taking a bit of profit at around about 24K. However, I do feel it's going to go higher, so I'm going to stay on course for this 25K. And that's why I've actually got a trade in Bitcoin at the moment for the BigWick Energy. A couple of significant things here is with this move as well, we took loads of profit, which is great. We really loaded our long positions around about here, and we closed out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 positions at around about 5%, 13 positions, should I say, at around about 5% over the weekend, which brought us in 65% profit, which is great, and a few safety orders filled in there as well. So it was a very nice and lucrative weekend for BigWick Energy. There's a couple of other things which is worth noting. Morgan Stanley has started advertising for jobs within the cryptocurrency sector. So this is exactly what we want to see. Morgan Stanley is such a big player within the US banks. And also, I really want to revisit the whole BlackRock crypto institutional partnership through Coinbase. And to give you a bit of a scale of what BlackRock accounts under management really has, if they were to put around about 0.5% of their accounts under management into crypto, amounts to about 50 billion, it would have a massive $1 trillion impact on the market, according to this multiplier. Now, please note that I did get this from Daily Hodl in one of the news articles they released today, which I thought was super interesting, and the apparent price impact that would have on Bitcoin is taking it to 75K, with raising it by 75K, which, based on the current price right now, would take it to about $98,000, which is around about 326% return on investment from right now. Now, of course, this is super speculative and just simply what looks like an Excel chart or Google Sheets chart taken from an article today. But what is important about this is to give a bit of a gravity of how much capital BlackRock can deploy. And we are talking about 0.5%. These multipliers are very speculative. That's, I guess, the consideration of how much the other kind of retail traders and institutions would jump on board with this. Again, very speculative, but it is also super exciting. I mean, I am totally cool with $50 billion being deployed in Bitcoin and having way more institutions coming in. I think we all are. So with that in mind, things are looking relatively bullish, and I think everybody's feeling that as well. The Senate is looking at this whole inflation bill, and to be quite honest, you've got to take all that kind of stuff with a pinch of salt. It could just mean it could go either way, really. It could build a lot of confidence in the market. It could actually help stabilize it. Realistically, the money printer is going to go brrrr, and we are just going to dig ourselves into a deeper hole. But then in the same breath as well, Bitcoin is such a good hedge against inflation. So, we don't know where this is going to go realistically. Whenever the Fed gets involved, it always kind of gets a bit confusing, and nobody really knows what to do, whether to jump in the lifeboat that is Bitcoin, or just put all your money under your bed, whichever works for you. But all in all, there's been some quite positive bullish news for Bitcoin. So that, coupled with this very, very volume heavy breakout, and we are getting into the territory where we want to be seeing Bitcoin going up to the, I guess at this point now around about 26k, is looking very encouraging. So on that case alone, I don't want to be opening a ton of longs as we've just come into resistance, and we know we're going to probably see a bit of a retrace, which is happening as we speak. And coming down to this support here, now we do want to hold 23,800 for sure. We can go a little bit lower. We can go down to around about 23,600 and still be totally comfortable. But realistically, if we start to break below 23,200, and there's this empty CME gap down here and a weekly pivot, which we really don't want to be filling too much, we could see some real bloodshed, and this whole 21,600 target could be very realistic. We don't want to see that, okay? We want to have a nice bullish week. We want to close out a whole bunch of longs and be really lucrative for everyone. So jumping into the trades, a brand new trade today was Cardano. That absolutely smashed through the targets over the weekend. Again, like I said, we are in this kind of nice range here, and I've said that with these news-based trades, we still have the hard fork to come out, which is going to be bullish in my opinion. We just want to start managing those average buys nicely and get a lower price, and that's exactly what we're going to do here with Cardano. We're going to open up a price as soon as we see a little bit of weakness, which we did. We saw a retrace and got in, and if it goes down to this 10%, sorry, that's on 3.6%, our next safety order is all the way down here. So we don't particularly want to be breaking out of this channel, which I don't think we will. I think this is going to be a relatively organic push up to 5%, which is our default target. Again, it's very tempted, but I'm very impatient to push up to 10%, so I might just keep on catching the 5% as we go up. AMP is doing fine, absolutely fine. I think that actually would have gone up to target, but we had a bit of a retrace now with Bitcoin. So it's kind of working out how I was expecting. People didn't actually realize that it wasn't actually as bad as it sounded, and they just completely footed out of the trade, some probably in loss. But yeah, so we got in near at the bottom, and not bottom, loosely bottom, down here, and we kind of do want to get above this 0.00848 price, and then we'll be off to the races. BNB down. BNB is just doing so well in the market. It's not ideal to be in a short trade right now. However, we picked up this SO3 and it brought the price down quite nicely. We've got an unfilled weekly pivot here, so very tempted to put a safety order in here. But again, I like to stick to a maximum of 4 safety orders, so I'm not going to commit just yet. Bitcoin, we've obviously got into a trade here for all the reasons I've just gone through. Dash, there's going to be a lot of rinse and repeats you'll see here, which is we've just broken out of kind of key local resistance and coming back on the retrace. Pretty much a no-brainer there exactly for that for Dash. And ENJ as well. This is looking quite nice. We've broken out this long-term resistance, and we just want to hold here and bounce up. Ethereum is, in my opinion, look at that, it's perfect breakout here. So I feel it's going to hold here and pump up. Loads of volume coming into that. Equally, it's it's a news-based trade. Realistically, I'm going to keep on getting into Ethereum if and when I can. The merge is probably going to go well. There is talks that Buterin's saying the price is dialed in now. I think that's obviously he's not stupid, but I think it's a little bit silly saying that the price is dialed in to Ethereum at 1,800. Ethereum's going to kill it. It's going to absolutely kill it. So getting Ethereum below $2,000, I think, is just an amazing deal. So yeah, why not start DCAing now with 5% targets? So that's going up. If we know it's going generally up at some point, then you want to DCA the hell out of it. Phil, again, you know, a nice little, funny little Bart Simpson pattern just here, which is nice. We've been so used to seeing this in the other way. There is an argument that you could say there's a cup and handle in play here. But for the most part, we do have a nasty bat harmonic which is coming in, but that seems to be playing out. But again, like, you know, I've got in here on the retrace, which is the anticipation for it all. We have broken out of this key resistance just here, which is nice. We've got a lot of volume coming in. So yeah, so it's one of those trades which is the general market's going up. It's a good entry. That's where we're at. HNT is following this with quite nice conviction, which is nice. We went up, came down, and we're going up again. So if we're to move this over here, and then I can't get to the top of that line, but you get the general gist. We're coming up. So what we want to be doing is breaking out of this long-term trend line. We may come back down here. I don't know. You know, the market's looking pretty bullish. We might not make it back down there. If we see a nice little bullish divergence around here on a higher time frame, maybe things are going to look good. And I think this might be one of our little sleeping giants. So it might be worthwhile actually considering a safety order around here. Like I said, I want to get above this trend line before I commit to that. You know, safety orders can work two ways. Sometimes you can put a safety order above where a previous safety order has been, if you want to be particularly aggressive, if you know that the market is going very bullish. So don't be afraid of that. The safety order doesn't always have to be below. It really depends how quickly you want to get out of a trade. Or equally, if you feel like a trade is super going up and you just want to deploy more capital into it, and deploy more capital into it, and, you know, and raise your TP. And that's what it's about. It's about maximizing the profit as well as playing it safe. KMD, again, this is, yeah, let's see where this is going. It's a bit of a no-brainer, really. We've got all of this similar kind of market structure appearing throughout a lot of these assets. We're seeing higher highs, higher lows. We don't have a bearish divergence, which is something, you know, you always want to be cautious of when you're seeing these higher lows and higher highs. But that's going nicely. We're not oversold on the RSI. We're going to come down to this potential trend line support down here. And, you know, there's a teeny tiny little cup and handle going on. The Gartley is not ideal. So we may come down to this lower trend line here. But again, general kind of consensus there is it is heading up. Link down, all the down tokens right now obviously aren't going to be doing so well because the market is pumping, which again, I'm not sad about. So just going to see where this falls and then commit once we see some weakness in Bitcoin. Matic has crashed just in the last hour. What is going on there? Is the market crashing? Yes, the market is crashing a fair bit. Okay. Well, the market always seems to crash whenever I do these videos. I mean, come on. So maybe we should start doing shorts just before I jump on these. So we're going to see the market generally head on down a little bit. But again, right here, we saw a nice little breakout and that held support and we're pumping up. We do have a bearish divergence, which has come into play there. That wasn't there when I took the trade, obviously. And all looking good, all looking good. Like I said, you know, we got in here, was expecting a bit of retrace. We didn't quite pick up this safety order, which was a bit sad. XRP, get ahead and look at all these candles down. XRP is one of those news-based trades, which I said every time I get an opportunity to enter, I will. This broke out of this downward channel, which is where we got in here. Now would have been an excellent entry, to be quite honest, because we had a nice breakout and we're retracing. Again, going to let that play out. And ZIL was the latest one on, I think, Saturday, a couple of days ago. Had a really strong breakout and came down. I mean, realistically, I probably should have waited till around about this region before I took the trade. But I think I was just a bit impatient. We have DCA on our side, so I'm not too worried about that. But all in all, it's been an incredibly successful weekend. Like I said, taking 65% profit. The market is looking good. Obviously, disregard the last 1 hour candle. And if you want to get access to all of these trades, then just head on over to Mizar, where you can join Bigwick Energy and follow all of the block party trading portfolio. And all these trades get done for you. Of course, give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. It helps us and encourages us to bring you more of this awesome content.